So today we're working with equations of a circle. I'm not sure if you've seen this before. Does it sound familiar? Okay. Then it might be completely new. Okay, so an equation of a circle, let me kind of backstep a little bit. So the idea is, like, if you were to have an equation of a line, you'd have y equals mx plus b, and you could graph a line using this equation. It's the same idea, except for an equation of a circle is a totally different equation because it's a circle. But using that equation, you could graph a circle in the correct place and the correct size. So the standard form of this equation looks like this, so it's already written out for you. In this standard form, a couple key parts. You have the center of the circle is HK. So center is HK, and those are coordinates of the middle of the circle. And then R right here is the radius. So in the equation, the radius is squared. So to find the radius, you would have to unsquare that number to find the size of the circle. Okay, and then there's general form of a circle. This whole page over here is just going to be working with standard form, and then on the second side, we're going to use general form. So let me get my template here. Okay. So general form looks like this. X squared plus y squared plus c to the x plus d y plus e equals 0. That is general form. Okay. So where do we go from here? So does any of this look familiar? No. Does this equation look familiar? No. Okay. Okay, so number 1, it says write an equation of a circle with center 3, -2, and a radius of 4. So all we're going to do is use this equation right here and plug in the numbers. So the center, 3, 2, that's your HK, and then your radius will go right here for R. So plugging this in, it's x minus 3 squared plus y minus -2 squared equals 4 squared. And so we're going to do a couple little things just to simplify this. This y minus -2 is going to be y plus 2, and then 4 squared will be 16. So I'm going to rewrite it with those things just kind of fixed. And then this is the equation for this circle. Okay, next example, same idea. Of course, they'll work in slightly different situations. Here it says write an equation of a circle with center -4, 0 and a diameter of 10. Well, for the equation of a circle, we need the radius. So we just divide that by 2 to get a radius of 5. And then we can plug in the numbers into the equation. So again, x minus -4 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 5 squared. And then I'm going to rewrite this and make it a little cleaner. The x minus -4 is going to be just x plus 4. And then also y minus 0 is just y. So we're just going to write y squared for this term. So rewriting this, x plus 4 squared plus y squared equals 25. And that is the equation for that circle. Number 3, same idea, write an equation of a circle with this center and then a radius of square root of 11. Now square root of 11 squared is just 11, just FYI. So when we write it, we're just going to write 11. So here I would do x minus 2 squared plus, I'm going to write just y plus 9 because I get the idea it's just going to be subtracting a negative, which is plus. And then square root of 11 squared is 11. So here is my answer. Okay, so now we're going to start working backwards. What if they gave us the equation and then we were asked for the center or for the radius? So that's what's happening in number 4. Find the coordinates of the center and the measure of the radius from this equation. So this would be h and this would be k. So our center is positive 6, negative 3, because remember that negative symbol is part of the equation. So there's our center, and the radius is the square root of 25. So it is 5. Okay. So now in the next example, taking everything one step further, they give us a circle. They want us to find the center, radius, and the equation of the circle. So given this diagram, we're going to look for the center. It's kind of a guess and check method when you're looking for the center. Just kind of eyeball it and then check to make sure it's accurate. Here, it looks like the center is right at the origin at 0, 0. And then to check it, I would just make sure all the sides are the same distance from that center. So if I count from here to this edge, it's 12 units. From here to here, 12 units. From here to here, it's 12 units. And from here to here, it's 12 units. So that is the center. So the center is at 0, 0. The radius, I just counted that, or you can use the numbers on here, from 0 to 12 is 12 units. So the radius is 12. And then using this, I can plug it into the equation. So it'd be x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals 12 squared. And then from here, we'll just simplify this a little bit. X minus 0 is just x, so we'd get x squared plus y squared equals 144. Okay. Number 6 over here, of course, they build it a little bit more. Here's our circle. Again, eyeball it, see if you can find the center. So I think it's right there. And then I'm just going to count and make sure. See, from 1 to 8, 7 units. Looks like it's 7 units in this direction. 7 up and 7 down. Okay, cool. I found my center. So this center is at 1, negative 3. And then for the radius, that would be the distance from the center to the outside. So from 1 to 8 is 7 units. And then we can plug it into the equation. Okay, next it says graph the circle, identify the center and the radius. So they give us an equation. Actually, before we can graph it, we'd have to identify the center and the radius. So the center here, based on the equation, would be positive 3, 2. And then the radius be the square root of 9, which is 3. So the radius is 3. And then we can graph it. There's our circle. Okay, so now we are going to move over to the other side. This is where it gets more challenging. It's definitely honors level. I actually didn't even do a lot of the other side with my regular classes because it's more higher level. That being said, I would cut it out, but honestly, I've seen this stuff on standardized testing, and I want to make sure that you've seen it for those trying to get like 5s and perfect scores and all that stuff. It's also a good preview for Algebra 2, which you're going to be starting in a few months anyway. So over on the other side, we're going to be looking at general form of the circle. So up here, we had written down general form. We're going to be going from this form to this form and vice versa. So first off, we're going to make this into this, and we're actually going to go to the bottom of the page here, and it says write the general form of the equation of a circle using this. So what we're going to do is use our algebra. So we're going to expand this out. X minus 4 squared would be like this. X minus 4 times x minus 4. And then y plus 3 squared look like this. Now, to continue solving this, we're going to use FOIL. Did your teachers tell you about FOIL, or how did they? Okay, is anybody not familiar with FOIL? They taught it to you, they just called it something different. Anybody not heard of FOIL before? Oh, all your teachers use FOIL. That's convenient. Okay. So FOIL stands for first, outside, inside, last. So we're going to use FOIL to expand this. So first would be x times x, which is x squared. Outside, negative 4x. And last 16. And then for the next one, same thing, we're going to FOIL this. Y squared. Okay, so now that we have all our terms, you can probably predict we're going to combine stuff and simplify it. But where we're headed is we're headed to that general form equation where it's x squared plus y squared plus it'll be 8x negative 8x and 6x and then a constant and then it's equal to 0. So we're going to just rearrange the equation, combine like terms until it's in this format. So I'm going to put the x squared and the y squared first like it is in general form. And I can kind of cancel stuff out as I bring it down. Then we have negative 4x and negative 4x, that would be negative 8x. Then the 3y plus 3y, which is 6y. And combining constants, so 16 plus 9 would be 25. So from here. And now I just need to get it equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 36 from both sides. And then rewrite this thing. And there we go. That would be the standard form of that circle. Now we're going to learn how to do it the other way, going from general form back to standard form. So that's where we go to the top here. So I had you write this down already, so this goes a little bit faster. This is the problem that we're going to be solving. This is in standard form, and then I keep getting it backwards. This is in general form, we're going to standard form. Here's the process. We're going to group it. What it means by group is we're going to put x's with x's and y's with y's, and then we'll do the next step. So as far as grouping goes, it's going to look like this. X squared plus ax, and we'll combine steps here, plus a blank. We're going to find that constant in a second. And then we'll do y squared minus 2y plus a blank. And we'll put 8 on the other side. So we're going to add 8, put it over here, put equal 8. Okay, now what? We need to get whatever constants here so that way we can get this into factors. And the way we can find that constant, you could use guess and check, but there's actually a simpler process. It says make squares by cutting the linear term in half, squaring it, and adding it to both sides. Okay, so we're cutting this term in half, squaring it, and adding it to both sides. So 8 divided by 2 would be 4, and then 4 squared is 16. So we're going to put a 16 right here. And whatever we add to this side, we have to add to the other side. So plus 16 over here. Then here, divided by 2, or cutting it in half, would be negative 1. And then squaring it would be 1. So plus 1. I'm challenging you now. Okay. Now what we're going to do is just break this into factors. So now x plus 4 would give you the factors for this. So this would be x plus 4 squared. Did you want me to show another step in there? Or you get that? Yeah, I'll show the smaller step. Okay, so to factor this, it would be x plus 4 times x plus 4, which is x plus 4 squared. And then for this, it would be y minus 1, which is y minus 1 squared. And then you put that equal to 8 plus 16, 25. And then you did good. So the center would then be -4, 1, and a radius of 5. We're getting smart now. It's always the hardest the first time, then it starts getting easier. Okay, so now we're going to try it out with these examples. Write the standard equation of the circle, state the center and the radius. Okay, so first step is to group it. So x squared minus 8x plus a space, and then y squared, and there's no y here, so plus a space. Actually, we ain't got to do nothing, because that's just going to be y plus 0. And then we put the 7 on the other side, equals -7. Then we need the number here. Divide this by 2, -4. -4 squared would be 16. Cool. Whatever we add to this side, we got to add over here. Then x minus 4 squared plus y squared equals 9. Then this center be 4, 0, radius 3. I even checked the new book to see if they threw this out of the new curriculum. They didn't. It's still there. Okay, number 9. Okay, same process again. Grouping it. X squared plus 4x plus blank plus y squared minus 6y plus blank equals positive 3. Okay, divide 4 by 2 to get 2, and then square it. 2 squared is 4. And then here, divide this by 2, and then square it, we get 9. So we're add 4, add 9. Then we get x plus 2 squared plus y minus 3 squared equals 16. Okay, last example. This happens a lot in Algebra 2. Before we do anything, we're actually just going to factor out a common factor out of all the terms. So all of these terms can be divided by 2, and by dividing them by 2, we get our x squared, y squared, and what we like working with. So dividing everything by 2, we get x squared plus y squared minus 8x plus 2y plus 10 equals 0. And then we can work with it first by grouping. have the middle number, and then square it would be 16. Have this, and then square it would be 1. So plus 16 plus 1. What? 7? Did I write down something wrong? No, it's 7. Okay, so then center is for -1, and radius is square root of 7. Okay. I'm gonna go over one little thing on the board, and then I'll have you start your homework. By the way, if it makes you feel any better, none of this stuff is on the homework. It's just this. So don't freak out. Like, it was just challenge you. I don't know. Take your brain to the next level.